Hey guys, I'm Vaughn, and this is Monster MD. It's a story about an underground doctor to the local monsters who has to rescue his invisible surgical assistant, Heidi, from his worst nightmare. We're talking about the masked madman who took off his arm, ruined his surgical career, and changed his life once already. And he's scared to have to confront that again. He has to save Heidi. Will he be able to? We don't know. Until we read the book, of course. So yeah, I've been working on Monster MD for a really long time. It's been an idea I've always loved that just worked. It's just it's very me. It's very everything I like in one place, and I'm just stoked to share it with you guys. Dr. Wyatt Black. Imagine, if you will, Ryan Reynolds scruffed up and being a crazy doctor to the local monsters and trying to make it work, despite all the hazards therein that come with the job. He's kind of a little arrogant, a little sassy, a little snark, funny, witty, but he's brilliant. And he's always about, despite his kind of gruff nature, he's always about doing the right thing in the end, you know? And he's awesome at equally being able to solve a problem with either his fists or his wits. That's part of what makes him cool. So he's taken this brilliant surgical talent he has, and he now applies it to helping the local monsters after a tragic accident where he lost his arm. And strangely, his arm has been replaced with what looks like an undead, rotted out zombie arm. Whose is it? He claims it isn't his. He says it's on loan. Where'd he get it? You'll see it stitched onto him as he works on monsters and stuff, and he can use it to defend himself if he needs to from their bites. Because let's say a werewolf or vampire bites him, and as long as they bite that arm, he remains unaffected. He's immune. So then we have his amazing cult fan. There's a cult fandom around this woman. Surgical assistant Heidi H. Hyde, the invisible woman who helps him out. If we can get enough people that love her, I might do, and we get a stretch goal going, I would love to do her story of how she became invisible and ended up with Wyatt Black and their amazing medical van helping monsters out all the time. She's just amazing. She helps him out with all these different things, always has a positive attitude, stays strong, and is kind of a supporter of his, if anything. So badass in her own right. She's funny, she's witty, and she is always ready to strip down and get naked to become invisible and get out of sticky situations. I've loved the Invisible Man for a really long time, since I was just a kid. I've always kind of gravitated towards that story more than other Universal monsters for some reason. Maybe it's because with being an invisible person, there comes great power and yet great tragedy. And I just always found that so interesting. And Heidi, I hope to kind of capture that because she has such a positive, cute demeanor, and yet it's so tragic that she lives the life she does each day and gets up and does it again and again. And, you know, she doesn't have very many friends or anyone to connect with because of this invisibility. So Dr. Black is very important to her. And their relationship is kind of fun and has some like sparks of romance to it a little bit. And when it comes to the villain, guys, there's something that's really important about villains. Your hero is only as good as your villain. And when it comes to your villain in a horror-based story, a good one steals the show. That's why Dracula wasn't about Dracula directly, and yet we all think of Dracula as the lead character in that story. Even though he wasn't. Frankenstein was the name of the doctor, not the monster, yet we call the monster Frankenstein. We stole it and gave it to the monster. That's how awesome the bad guys are in horror. Or at least the good ones. And I've got a good one for you guys that you're not going to forget. We're talking about a monster that makes the other monsters terrified. Okay? This is a bad guy. A bad guy. I really hope you'll check out the book. My approach to it has been about Wyatt overcoming obstacles with his wits and his mitts, but also using science to apply it to the supernatural. And I think that's part of what makes it so fun, is I get to come up with these scientific things that are solutions to these supernatural problems and make it sound like as if it's real. And of course it isn't, but it sounds plausible enough, hopefully, to you, to the audience. And so that's part of the fun. How would you defeat a giant golem that's made of clay and corpse parts and it's way bigger than you and it's about to crush you? Like, how would you defeat that just really quick? You can't physically beat it at all. So how do you do it? With a little bit of science, Dr. Wyatt Black figures out how. He drives around the meat wagon, which is this badass converted truck that has just the most amazing machinery inside, but it's dilapidated, it's fallen apart, light bulbs are out. You know, he's trying to keep it together and make it work, and that's part of the fun of this thing. This vehicle is hip and cool. It reminds some people of the Turtle Van from back in the day, good old Ninja Turtles. It probably was an inspiration because Ninja Turtles were a great inspiration on me growing up. It's his lab on wheels. It allows him to hot rod around and help people. It allows him to hide out and keep his lab away from where people might discover him working on monsters. He's good at keeping that stuff on the DL. So yeah, this book has it all, man. At least for me it does as a reader, and I just hope it will for you. Please check it out. We're launching an Indiegogo in May, and we'd really like you to sign up. The link is in the description below for our mailing list so that you can get access to a secret special tier that will give you an awesome item. I'm going to announce this item very soon, so I hope you sign up. Appreciate you listening in. Monster MD is going to rock Indiegogo, and I hope you're there. Thanks so much. I'm Von Klaus. I've done work for John Malin, who's worked on Cable for Marvel Comics, and then Mark Polton, who's done things like Hawkman for DC, two powerhouses of creators, and they let me write on their amazing series Graveyard Shift. It was an honor to get to work for them. And now I get to release my own book, and it's monster-based as well. I'm Vaughn, I'm out, and take care. Bye.